Hello and welcome to the Literary Lair, and it's nearly time. The 50th anniversary of JFK's assassination, and thus I'm going to review 11/22/63. Except that I can't, because I kind of reviewed it back in January. In my defense, I didn't think I'd get this far. So I guess I have nothing to review then. Oh, I guess I'm going to review Doctor Who and the Wheel of Ice. And this means that it's the 50th anniversary of Doctor Who. Hold on a sec. Roll the theme song. Hold it. That's not good enough. That might have been good enough for the first anniversary of my show, but this is the 50th of Doctor Who. Roll the new version. The cover is amazing. It's the classic logo with the Wheel of Ice written under it. And it's written in an icy textured font. There's a tagline, resilience, remembrance, restoration, whatever the cost. Ooh, foreboding. And the cover is framed with an icy texture, and the TARDIS in the middle hanging out on the rings of Saturn. Reminds me of another book I've reviewed. So, let's get to the story proper. The story begins in the TARDIS, where it detects something and calls the TARDIS team to the control room. And here's where we have to stop for a second. We've already talked about Jamie and the Doctor in the Doctor Who and the Cybermen review, but not Zoe. She was a sheltered girl from the far future. She's my favorite female companion of the black and white era of Doctor Who. Anyway, they get into the control room and the Doctor tries to figure out what's going on. A thing...
Why is any object we don't understand always called a thing?
...is heading for the TARDIS, and it gets hit as the Doctor tries to navigate through the rings of Saturn. This leads the Doctor to make the acquaintance of Fee Laws, who is the daughter of the mayor of the Wheel, and Mac, a Scottish construction robot who Jamie takes a liking to due to being from the same country. Fee has a necklace on that is causing the TARDIS to go nuts because it's not meant to be in the time period it's in. The adult crew of the station meet up to discuss what to do with the intruders. The assembled are Joe Laws, Fee's mom, Sinbad Omar, the CMO, and Sonia Paley, the security officer from Geneva. The TARDIS is impounded, and the Doctor and crew are thrown in space jail, which is like regular jail, but in space. They are released shortly after they are found to be of no threat to the station. They were under scrutiny because the station has been sabotaged by blue-skinned creatures that look like children, but have no faces. Technical equipment has been taken, and Florian Hart, the leader of the corporation that is mining on the moons of Saturn, is angry about that, because no mining equals no money. And she doesn't like the Doctor, which is why she had the TARDIS impounded. The TARDIS team moves into Fee's housing area, and Jamie shares a room with Fee's delinquent brother Sam, who calls Jamie Granddad because of how he talks. You know, the Scottish accent and all makes him sound like an old man. The Doctor as Jamie and Zoe figure stuff out about the station, and Zoe gets info from Mac, who tells her about his life. He was created, and in order to give him motivation to work for humanity, he spent his first few years believing he was a human, and through special sensor techniques, he was able to experience it until they told him that he wasn't actually human. And then he built the station after they told him. He even took apart all the old rockets with the nuclear payloads and got rid of them. The Doctor notices that the rings of Saturn are not right, and something is definitely wrong. Jamie goes on a trip with the teenagers of the station, Sam, Fee, and Sam's friends, to go skiing on one of the moons. While on the trip, Jamie learns the secret of the necklace. The stone was found by an ancestor in 1890, and it has been passed down, giving each Law's daughter an unusual fascination with the planet Saturn. And when it finally got to Jo, she went into space with her kids and passed it down to Fee. The kids set up camp, and everyone, save for Fee and Jamie, get involved in a power struggle where they don't want to do a job and just leave it to Sam, despite them having delegated it and saying that they'd all take turns. The Doctor finds that a bunch of crap is happening on the station because Florian Hart is being a colossal pain in the ass, and Jamie gets held with the troublemakers when they return, and he refuses to leave them because of camaraderie. Meanwhile, the Doctor realizes that the necklace is an allohistorical lure, sent by a being to lead it to Saturn, although he doesn't know how or why. He assumes that the lure was meant for the Silurians, but when it was sent was when the Silurians left. He decides to head down to the mines with Dr. Omar, but Florian starts shooting up the place to get rid of the dolls, and Dr. Omar is killed. And Sam organizes a prison break, and they flee back to the moon. And Sam gets his suit punctured by tiny holes, and they cause the cold to start to get to him. Jamie saves him, and they are then in turn saved by Sam's stepdad. The Doctor returns to the mines to make peace with the dolls and realizes their sanction. He physically connects with them and figures out where their creator is. The Doctor realizes that they need the amulet and brings Fee down with him, while Zoe stays with Fee's sister Casey in a rocket casing to keep her from getting hurt while the station is overrun by the blue dolls. Zoe, throughout the book, has been confused at childcare and wasn't really fitting in, but she connects with Casey by telling her the story of the carcass, who was a part of the Mind Robber, one of my favorite classic serials. The Doctor reaches the core and finds Archive, a small device that was sent out by a civilization about to be destroyed by a supernova, similar to the Resican probe from Star Trek The Next Generation. But Archive was struck by the supernova, which in turn became the Big Bang, before the Doctor restarted the universe, of course. It was embedded in Saturn and has been trying to get parts to build a time machine to send herself back, because she's guilty that her world has been destroyed, despite it not having been her fault. As the Doctor promises that she won't be harmed, Florian Hart decides that he's going to use a nuke to destroy it. And I think we might need a Florian Hart fuck shit up counter. Yeah. The nuke, which Mac couldn't figure out why it was there, had been deleted from his records. That way he wouldn't know about it. Jamie, with direction from the Doctor, disarms it and Florian is arrested. All is well on the wheel, as they have decided to become a sovereign nation, and Matt gets letters from his mother back on Earth that Florian had been keeping from him to increase his productivity. The Doctor, Jamie, and Zoe watch as the new nation is born and slip out the back quietly as Fee and Mac watch on, and they decide that they should keep that a secret. Meanwhile, the TARDIS flies off into the vortex for another adventure. And that was Doctor Who, The Wheel of Ice. And it was a great book. I loved it, and it was a great way for me to start the year of the 50th anniversary. I actually got this book back in January. And it really feels like one of the old serials. Like, I'm a fan of Classic Who, and when I read this, I could see Patrick Troughton saying all of the Doctor's lines. And I could see Jamie and Zoe, and I could visualize this, and you always want a book to be able to make you do that. Anyway, I love Classic Who, Troughton's my favorite classic Doctor, and you could watch my series on all of them. I'll put a link in the description, hopefully. And next week, we're taking a look at a book from my childhood that I'm finally going to conquer.